Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up. Today we are playing a $20 buy-in turbo on ultimatepoker.com. The beginning of a very exciting week for us here on Run It Up. Why is it so exciting? Well, we'll get to that in just a second. Let's look and see about what this tournament is all about. This is I think there's like 12 or 13 people. I just registered, and unfortunately I couldn't hit record fast enough to capture the very first hand, but it was literally the hand before this. I raised Queen Jack offsuit, got called in the small blind by the guy with one eye. Flop came Jack 9, low card, rainbow. He bet out, I called. Turn was a low card, he bet out, I called. River was a low card, he bet out. Guess what I did? That's right, I called. He had ace 9 for second pair. And so that's what really won me 1,000 chips. Don't think we've seen any of these players before, but people have been talking in chat about the videos, so some good comments, actually, I would say. Interesting reviews, but it looks like at least Paradise Ice and Darren maybe might know who we are. So the other three I am not familiar with. Texas Fight, 420 Don, of course. Dressed beautifully, of course. Everyone's dressed so nicely. Two guys in tuxes, a guy in a suit, a football, and a homeless guy with an eye patch, not to mention the leprechaun. That's the lineup we have for you guys tonight. That's right. It's going to be an exciting week, as I was saying before. We'll be awarding tickets to UFC 169. I'm excited to go through some emails and hand out some tickets to you guys. We're going to be I'm bringing 50 Run It Up Warriors. I should just say it that way. I'm bringing 50 Run It Up Warriors with me to the fight. UFC 169 in Newark. You don't have to live in Jersey. All you have to do is be able to get yourself to Jersey, Newark particularly, on Saturday, February 1st, sometime prior to the fight starting. That's all you have to do to qualify. And then, of course, to actually win the tickets, you must send me an email, dearjcarver@gmail.com. You probably have to be 18. Maybe you have to be 21. I'm not really sure. If you're in between those ages and you're curious, I guess you should write me an email and I'll figure that out. But, yeah, it'll be fun. Besides that, send me an email. I'm giving away tickets based on entertaining deservedness. So you got to send me a poem, a song, a video of you dancing, an impression of me. Anything you think is ticket worthy. And I will give you a pair of tickets for you to bring someone else with you. You can impress someone and be like, hey, baby, you want to go with me to the UFC 169? Uriah Faber's fighting, and Jose Aldo fighting Ricardo Yamas. It's going to be great. Jay Carver's going to be there. Hey, you really impress somebody. Huge impress. You've had your eye on this girl. She's a huge UFC fan. You don't know the first thing about UFC, but Jay Carver loves the UFC. You can make this whole thing happen. Run It Up Union, and who knows? All you have to do is send me an email, dearjcarver@gmail.com. Could be you. Very likely might be you. I'm not sure I have 50 Run It Up Warriors who can make it to Jersey February 1st. We will find out, I presume. I've only given out 5 so far, I believe, in total. 7, I guess, including me. So we raced here against a limp, and is it possible we could bet here and win this pot? Oh yeah, it's possible, but I really think this is too ambitious, even for me, king of ambition, so to speak. I think this would be just a little too ambitious to hope that we can get through 2 people here with 2 7s. We do make a catastrophic mistake against hands that are worse than us. If we check back here and he has 2 5s and puts on his bluffing shoes because we checked back and then comes at us, this kind of sexy nurse over there. I mean, listen, I'm not the arbiter of attractiveness by any means, but I'm not, that nurse doesn't really do it for me. I'm just saying, too much eyeshadow and, okay, I guess, but, what are you trying to be, like a 45-year-old slutty nurse? It's not doing it for me. Well, now that we've got that cleared up, I guess I'll be folding here with the Queen 6 of Spades. And in addition to giving away lots of cool Run It Up Warrior things, lots of actual little cool things happening this week. But I'm also going to treat this week as Turbo Week, is what I've decided to name it. I don't really know what it has to do with being turbo about it, but I'm going to be playing a lot of sessions this week. This is one of the few weeks that I'm going to be playing off-camera sessions as well as on-camera sessions. So I'll be playing some 4-tabling sessions, play some cash, play some more tournaments. I'm going to really try to run it up this week. I'll be doing some streams. I think one day this week, if not 2 days this week. I won't do a video. I'll do a stream instead. So obviously today will be a video, but stay tuned on facebook.com/jcarpoker for the stream announcements. I'll probably try to give you guys like a couple hours notice before I start, but that won't always be the case, but I'll at least try. So I'm going to bet here. I think I'd rather bet bigger rather than smaller. This is the guy that did the ace-9 dance with me before, so I'm a little suspicious. I'm a little worried about this guy doing something making us fold here. Obviously, Darren could just have it, but you got to start here with a bet no matter what. Against two people, I don't really want to check raise all in, although I guess we could. I mean, I think betting is certainly fine. The question is something else better? And I don't think that there is anything better than just betting, given we know about our opponents. All right, fair enough. Less fair turn card for us. Actually, probably the worst turn card in the deck for us, because if our opponent had any combination of kings or aces, I don't believe we'll get them to fold right now. And if our opponent was light, and let's say he had a hand like 10-8 of spades, this is also a kind of turn card that we do not win the pot on. So I think, unfortunately, we just got dealt the lose the pot turn card here. I just think it's just not just happened. They just turned us with the old "you don't win the hand" turn card. Okay, I guess that's what we do then. We just fold. So we started with 3,000 chips, so we're a little bit under average, under starting stack, I should say. 14 players remaining. 18 players began. What? Oops. Blackness. Darkness took over the run-it-up set. All right, and now we have audio again. All right, sweet. Clicking buttons, ruining everything. What does the symbol mean by your name, Jay? That's right. He is an ultimate poker pro. That's what I am. I have no place to put the camera besides there, unfortunately, for now. We've all been through this many times before. Ruh-roh, says our opponent, Johnny Vegas. Okay, sure. So, how was your weekend? Really? She did what? I don't know where I was going with that, really. I had no real prep. I was like, how long can I do this for? I don't know. And then I gave up because it wasn't really going anywhere. I was bored by your fake story. Your fake story didn't elicit any kind of crazy response from me. I'm sorry. My weekend was nice. Thanks for asking. I mean, it was fine. It went by very quickly, and, you know, I guess really that's all I have to say about it. It was all right. I have really nothing of note to report. Nothing has really changed since 3 days ago. I had a lot of ambitions to accomplish things this weekend, and I just haven't. I haven't even come close to accomplishing like anything. I just haven't really got good yet at the managing of the time thing. I just haven't got good at it. I try to do run it up stuff and ultimate poker stuff Monday through Friday and Sunday through Friday. And then I try to spend half of Friday on other non-run it up work. And then I try to take Saturday and do things that don't have anything to do with talking to people. And I kind of accomplished that on Saturday at least. But I really didn't do enough non-run-it-up work. I have so many emails I haven't read. Hundreds and hundreds of emails I just hope to read one day. And yeah, I don't know. I feel very behind on like everything messages-wise right now. I don't know what to say. This is a little weird situation. So I think we have the worst hand here very often, you know, because bet pot and then call pot, and she only has like not that much left. So I don't want to shove and I don't want to call. So I guess that leaves folding. Yeah, okay. That's why I should do all the hand history commentary from now on. I should just drone on and then just fade off and mumble like that. Every hand, I should just do that. Weird. Maybe we had the best hand against Darren. Poor old Richard Nixon over there. He can never get anything going. He's just always... Oh, why the long face, Richard Nixon? What's got you so upset over there? Probably going to raise this if it folds to us. So if somebody opens, obviously we'll just fold. But I believe that we will be opening if folded too. 300 chips seems fine to me. Small blind quickly folds. Richard Nixon too upset over there to play a pot. Pretty happy with this situation, in position against a player who I believe is a little on the loose side, which is fine. Okay. Well, it's very possible our opponent has an ace, but why would he have an ace and then call pre-flop and then open pot like this? I think we have the best hand here often enough, and if not, hit us a 10 or a 4 dealer. That's really the other option. I mean, we're risking 2200 to win 1300 or whatever. If he has an ace and just decides to pot call, congratulations, run the cards. But often enough, he'll just bet fold, and we have the best hand. And once in a while, he'll also have diamonds, and he'll be a favorite, actually, against our hand, but not so much so that we should fold. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much all that. All in all, when you put all the things he has into your run-it-up branded cauldron, it's a very small cauldron today. It's more of a... Let's think about alchemy trivia. It's a mortar and pestle, right? Kind of. I have no idea. It does feel vaguely sexual though to mime mortar and pestle. I'm just gonna say. I feel a little awkward right now. You know, it's a true thing. That's a good way. If you ever want to embarrass somebody, can you be like, let's play alchemy charades? And then they'll be like, okay, because everyone loves a game of alchemy charades. And then you just say, all right, let's go with mortar and pestle and just see what they do and go from there. I think that's a great party game. Remember that one, kids. All you 16-year-old Swedish wizards out there looking for the next hot party game, you got it. Stay tuned. Run it up for all your hot party needs. So we bet flop with our 8 high, and we've continued to represent 8 high quite proudly here on the turn. I believe we should not bet. I feel like our opponent is probably not folding. Let's try to rip some interesting river card. 8 is not the most interesting river card I've ever seen in my life, but perhaps we win. We do beat ace-jack, and not much, honestly. But the problem is, if he has a hand like jack-9 or jack-10, which are both very reasonable hands, I don't believe he folds now. So I think we just check and say, you probably got this one, bud. Don't believe that hand is probably going anywhere. Kind of an interesting defend. Not that I think it's bad, just interesting as in worth noting. Because not everyone would defend the king and 3 there. But looks like our friend decided to do so. Could have opened this as well, but we're at the point now where we really kind of got to be particular with the hands we choose. You know, high standards, kids. You know, don't just want to get in there with any old pair. Got a pair of cards, I should say. Any old pair. What are we talking about here? Of course, we'll be in there. But I mean, like, this is a pretty good example of a mistake. So if you're trying to learn a little bit out there and don't realize that what that guy just did, why that's bad, well, he made it 600 and then folded to a re-raise from that guy over there. If he's going to play a hand like that, then if he's going to try, he's basically trying to steal, right? The chance of him stealing for a minimum raise or closer to it versus 600, it doesn't really change the chance of his success very much, but he saves himself like a big blind and a half when he makes it, you know, 350 or whatever, instead of making it 600 or whatever it was that he made it. So in that case, I think it's just kind of like a inefficient raise. That's a very good word for it. Thank you. Again, I didn't see his sizing, but when you're playing turbos like this, you always want to make the most efficient use of your chips, because he who makes the most efficient use of his chips wins the most chips, as it were. So you know, it creates stacks. It helps to create stacks that are deeper, whether it's in practice or in reality. By making smaller bets, you arm yourself with more bets in your stack, and that's always a good thing if you're the better player. The more times you make bets, the more likely you are to win if you are the superior player. I believe I have the superior hand in this case, and our options are very binary in this spot. I would be all in or fold. So I'm clearly going to go all in here. No reason to make it like 900 because it creates weird things. And if I had deuces, I would just shove. Same if I had like ace 9. So I'd rather pretend my hand is weaker and shove rather than raise and make it weird. Also, we could really use those chips. He made it 420, plus there's an extra 240 in antes, plus 300 in blinds. That's a lot of chips out there. So I'd really just like to take that pot right then and there and stick it on our stack. And that's what we do. Claw, stack. That's right. That's what we did there. We have all the motions here and run it up. That's what we've got here. So that's a great spot for ace 7. Ace 7's running around the house right now, high-fiving all his kids. All right, let's take a look at, everybody's got 2 pair. So 13 players remaining. People are still registering, but it's currently overlay, actually. $500 in the prize pool. First place is $225. We're 8 of 14. Okay, king and queen here. Let's see if we can do some work. So this player shoves for 300. So we have an option between... I think we're actually just all in here because there's 700 chips in the pot. I think the best play is just to shove. If maybe there's better option, I think shoving has to be the best option given how much money is already in the pot. Okay, looks like we're probably not going to win this hand unless the river is some miracle joker. The joker of stars on the river, perhaps, would have been the only out. Not this time, it appears. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of sessions this week. Try to put some actual time in there. Play a couple hours every day, and see if we can't run it up a little bit. I will have to play probably 25 cent, 50 cent because if we're gonna play like 4 tabling, I really shouldn't play 50 cent, $1 or bigger with $1,500 or 1656, whatever it is that we have. So gonna have to play a little bit smaller until we spin it up a little bit, or at least mix tables together. I just think that would probably lead to some amount of potential variance, disaster. So in this spot, I think we're going to min raise. I don't think shoving is necessarily the best play. I think we can make the most mistakes from our opponents here by min raising. Our opponents can shove with worse, can call with worse, a variety of things. I'm a little concerned here because he's shoving for so much, and this guy does have a bunch of chips. If this guy was shorter stacked, I would just snap call here, and I'm snap calling here in my mind, taking some time to talk to you guys, but there is no way we can fold a hand this good. I call. Fair enough. Gonna need to dodge some blue cards or the 10 ball. Just a 10 ball will do it for our opponent. No 10 for you. That's right. That's right. This would be like a buzzing sound as like the machine goes up and down and then drops the chips. That is right. All right. So unfortunately we had to take from our run it up warrior over there. Ace and king, looks like we're going to still be on that taken train. Min raise here seems like the best play. Certainly planning on not min raising too widely because of the short stacks, but looks like we get to run the cards again. This time even better than ace jack. This is going to be one of those key tournament hands, boys and girls. If we don't win this one, I don't think we'll be winning the tournament. If we do win this one, I like our chances though. We'll have quite a lot of chips. I play for them all. 420 down, don't know what to do. All right. Okay. Gonna need to sweat ourselves some black cards or queens. There's that 10 we were looking to dodge last time. All right. Give us all of the chips. Thank you. I'll take all of the chips. Okay, 14,309 chips in our stack. That would make us the chip leader by and away by quite a lot, as average stack is only 4,700, so we have 3 times average. That's pretty sweet. 14 players remaining thanks to some late registrations. Registration, I think, has just closed, though. So let's see if we can bink a tournament, kids. Let's see if we can just run it out. Bink it up. That's right. Looks like our friend here is going to need some 10s or queens. Otherwise, his party is over. See ya, bitch. So I haven't... one thing I have done in the last 3 days, on the recommendation of a friend, I've been watching a Canadian TV show. I could not have even named you a Canadian TV show prior to this weekend, but now I can. Good news. I've been watching a show called LA Complex. I'm almost done with it, and by the time you guys see this, will be done with it. So I feel fine spoiling, telling you guys, because I'm always afraid of spoilers for these things. But I've really enjoyed it, actually, elements of it, at least. I guess we fold this. I mean, it's a very pretty hand, but I can't really call 5,000. That's quite a lot. It's like a very interesting show that feels like a better version of like, I don't know, feels like I have a hard time describing it, because it feels like the OC, and it definitely feels on some level like I don't understand why I'm watching. And then like on some other levels, I feel like it's got like really good complex is not the right word, but I like how the plot lines kind of intersect and interrelate, and the writing is good, and some of the actors are good, and the characters are pretty interesting. But I don't know, it's a show that it would not have been something at the top of my list to go and pursue, but I kind of enjoy it for a couple of various reasons. I limped here a 7-3 offsuit and decided to take a stab. I would imagine this is the kind of board our opponent does not connect to very often in a situation where he just checks blind versus blind. I mean, neither do we, but at least we opted to play the pot where our opponent did not. No opting from our opponent there, so I think our opponent just wisely decides to let that one go. I'm all in here no matter what happens. I suppose I could also min raise and then not fold. So let's do that, I guess, instead. Plan hasn't changed. I can break my finger calling if you guys want to see that. Just mash the... No. Chip away from 15K. It would make my day. I can't do live rhyming. Live rhyming, I haven't got to that point yet. I've never learned the live rhyming skills. I don't know what to say. Hey, we're just going to keep winning the blinds, though. I like when we click raise blinds, win chips button. That's pretty sweet. I actually really like our chances here. Obviously, it's a turbo, so anything can happen, but I think that we can probably finesse our way through. Hopefully, we don't put too much of our stack at risk. I want to avoid big flip situations. I want to kind of avoid... So that's my general strategy at this point, right? I'm going to try to win the blinds and entities where I can, but there's going to be some spots where I just really can't steal. So our first order of business is to kind of identify the people we can steal from, and that's true. It's true. Oh, this is a mistake from our button there, I think. I could be wrong because I'm not paying like super attention, but I think he raised, and I think he should just shove. He ended up raise calling. The reason why I think raise calling is bad is because you occasionally make mistakes yourself, and you allow your opponent to make more correct decisions based on the strength of your actual hand, right? So we shove. Maybe our opponent will fold like ace deuce, possibly. Maybe he'll fold a hand like king 7 suited, maybe, possibly. And if we shove, those hands probably all fold, right? If we raise, maybe those hands don't. Either they call, which could be correct. If we min raised, I'm assuming they could call, or they could read us as weak and then shove. So depending on our opponent, of course, I feel like that's probably not the decision I would have made. Blinds went up to 200, 400. Okay, I get half my blind back. Run the cards, dealer. I'll need an 8 or a 5 or a 7, please. Close. We're in the ballpark, like Battleship style. All right. Loud and clear, boys. Loud and clear, Bink Bell. Cross the horizon. What's that we hear? Oh, it's just the Bink Bell. The SS run it up. That's right. With that golden Bink Bell. It is golden. Have you guys ever seen the Bink Bell before? It's the exact model that our good friend Hector Salamanca used in Breaking Bad. Yes, that's right. It's a little dusty, I'm sorry. But that's right. That's what it is. That's right. It's that's it, exactly. That's what it is. I did not buy it because it was the model of the one they used. But when I found that out, how could I not? How could I not, relish it? That's what I said. I love the spot we're in. 5-handed here. Pocket nuns. Also loving that. 11 players remaining, by the way. Probably going to min raise this because at this point we've been min raising a lot, and I don't see why we should not. I mean, obviously, if we were shoving all these hands, I'd be just shoving everything. But given that we're actually strong here, and I'd like to encourage people to mess around with us, I think min raising makes the most sense. A snap call. Oh yeah. You're in the cage, brother. Sorry to tell you. Suit covered and everything. So dominated. Ooh, close, but not quite. That's right. Another bounty. Not that this is a bounty tournament, but I'm counting the bounties. That's right. 22,000 chips. What are we going to do with all these chips? Ballin'. Oh, yeah. Is this the final table? Oh, it's the final table. All right. All right, kids. We made ourselves to the final table. 9 players remaining. We are the chip leader. Yes, that is right. Average stack is 7,000 chips. So we've got 3x average. That's pretty sweet. Let's do some counting. We can even use a calculator. So we will be playing this hand. But so 22 players started with 3,000 chips. So there's 66,000 chips in play. So we have a third of the chips in play. That's pretty sweet. So it's 2-4. These two still have a bunch of chips. So I'm going to min raise. Don't think there's any reason to do anything else. Oh, we get to play a hand of post-flop poker perhaps. Looks like post-flop poker will be what we get. Okay. Fair enough. Pretty good flop for us. We've managed to collect 4 green cards. No immigrant jokes here. I could have made one, I guess. Let's check raise all in. No, I don't want to. Okay, let's check. Oh, he snap checks behind. That's a bit of a tell, folks. When he has pre-checked behind us, he clearly doesn't have, or very rarely has, a king or something like that. Let's bet. Shall we bet smallish? Perhaps representing some sort of weakness that was just unsure on the flop. I could have a hand like 2 10s, check flop. I'm scared. The king is scary, and now I bet. I think that made sense. I mean, once Biggie over there snap checks behind on the flop, I'm really not concerned. And Corky P-Dog is just in the big blind. You know, what are you going to have that you played that way in the big blind that connects too often? And even if you did connect, I have 2 clubs. You know, how connected can you really be? King and queen looking pretty good here. Going to need to sweat the old 4 ball or 6 ball. Okay. So, 8 players remain, one of whom is sitting out. I like our chances. Let's do it, kids. Let's win a tournament. Let's just win a tournament. That's right. Oh, I forgot. We're going to do something a little bit different today. I haven't done this ever before. We're about to do it right after this orbit is up. We're going to do first ever Mystery Mondays. That's right. What's going on Mystery Mondays, you might ask? Well, here you're about to find out. I'm going to cover my cards for an orbit. At the end of each hand, I will reveal my cards, and we can all talk and laugh and have fun with it. But for the time being, I'm going to move at the end of this orbit. Well, at the start in the big blind. All right, so let's, let me see. I actually don't think I set up the 4th. Okay. You guys get to watch me do this live. Let's see if I don't mess it up. Oh, I'm gonna mess it up. Okay. Wow, that wasn't too bad. Did you like it? It was pretty nice. We faded in. It was kind of beautiful, actually. All right. Also looks like Ace King is going to be busting deuces here, so we lose another player. All right, so here's the game we're going to play. If you've wanted to watch these videos to get better at poker, well, now you don't know what I have. And I, of course, do know what I have, so I can talk you guys through things as we go. And you should try to figure out what you would do with what hands in this spot and all of that. And obviously, we'll talk about it later, and I will tell you guys what I have at the end of each hand. So in this spot, big blind is 500. And we have to call here. I have Jack 4 of hearts, 2,300 to win 3,700. I just can't fold. And I want to call kind of quickly so people kind of get the feel that we're not going to be folding too often. You know, we're shoving pretty much any 2 cards, and with 2 hearts, or 2 suited cards like we have, there is no way we can fold. We also kind of want to set that tone, you know, that we're the chip leader. We can't be folding for amounts like this. The math is just too good. And we have Jack High, who could have the best hand sometime as well. But it looks like our opponent is unfortunately not going to be sticking around, unfortunately. All right, Mystery Monday is off to a great start. 6 players remain, 4 spots pay, by the way. Pretty far and away the chip leader at this point. So my strategy out of the small blind, you guys know what I like doing out of the small blind, but obviously we are going to have some decisions to make here. Okay. So I think my decisions are, again, pretty binary between shoving and calling. Or, sorry, shoving and folding. I guess I could call here sometimes as well. It doesn't matter what I have. I think that's just true for everything. But I'm all in this time. Ooh, we have ace-jack. He has ace-queen. That's sad. Okay, gonna need some hearts or jacks. He's kind of a cooler. I mean, obviously he min raises. He's a little strong, but there's no reason to assume that he is like super strong, and our hand is also pretty good. So don't think we can do anything else there when he has like whatever he had. He had like 7 or 8k. I don't think we can do anything besides shove. Calling seems bad. Re-raising smaller ends in the same result and seems bad anyway. So I think that's just one of those spots where just like delta double our opponent up spot. So what to do in this spot? Okay, I'm all in. You guys get to see my not being sure, so obviously you get to see a little bit more. I had ace-6 of diamonds there. I mean, I think that makes sense. The reason I wasn't sure what to do there was not because I was thinking about folding, but I was thinking about min raising. And the reason I didn't min raise there was because I was afraid that our opponents would shove and we make mistakes against like king queen, king jack, pocket pairs smaller than what we had, stuff like that. I'm gonna just min raise in this spot though, because we have a guy who has a ton of chips now in the small blind, as well as 2 guys behind us who we could arguably raise fold against if we wanted, or at least it could be perceived as such with whatever we have. So we have to call 4,700 here to win 7,300. I think I would call here with like ace 8 suited, ace 7 suited, and better. We're getting a good price, but not a great price. In actuality, I have king 6 of diamonds, and I think I'm just gonna fold. I would call there with a decent range of hands, but I think our hand. My intention was to raise fold when I opened that hand. Okay. The very last hand of our Mystery Mondays, which had mixed results, all in all. Let's see if we can end it off nice with a little last steal here. I think that works less well with a turbo than it does in a cash game. When I initially conceived of Mystery Mondays, I was like, oh, sweet, Mystery Mondays. It was going to work out awesome. And then turbo, not really the best because it's like, oh, he's all in. What can he have? Well, only like 30% of the possible hands. And that's not much of a mystery, really. So I don't hate the idea in concept. I just think we need to maybe repurpose it and not put it in for tournaments. Still second place, actually. Second place. Gonna complete here with 9-6 puppy dog feet. Let's see what our opponent decides to do here. Check seems fair enough. Pretty good flop for us. Got ourselves that gut shot. Gonna bet a little bit more than min to slightly increase our fold equity. I think betting 500 is the bet that most inclines him towards calling. Even like 550, I think, has more than 50 extra chips in fold equity because it's not a minimum bet. That's a little tip for you right there. That was a quick little tip for you guys looking for edges in your poker games. I think that's very true. Betting the minimum there is probably the most guaranteed way to, not most guaranteed, but the most likely path for him to continue. Not just because it's the smallest amount for him to call, but also because it's just the minimum bet seems to have a different feel to it than betting like 600 or 550 there, even if it's not significant. And not to mention that, not to say that all people will always fold for slightly more there, but I think that if I had to pick one or the other, and you had to say which one do I think is more likely to garner a fold from our opponents, well, I think a little more than a minimum would do it. That's just what I think. That's right, that's just what I think. I don't know what's going on with all that, but all right. Sure. Whatever, J. Carver. Yeah, that's it. I don't know what to say. It is what it is. I think the thing that I've enjoyed the most about that LA Complex show is that, I don't know, I feel like that show for me, it's about a bunch of people who are trying to live in LA and make it in LA. And though I think there are lots of things that are just like wrong with the show that I don't quite understand, and I have some opinions for sure, but I did find it very interesting. Not that I feel like people have made mistakes that I have made, or people have made mistakes that lots of my friends have made, or been on very similar paths that people I know are on, and I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but if you've wanted to see a show that is kind of like, God, it's not even like a show that I watch that I could compare it to. Nice all in here, Ace Jack looking pretty nice over there. It's not even a show I can compare it to. It's like MTV Skins meets the OC meets. Like, I can't think of a good show that I watch that I would say, oh yeah, it's like that. But it's pretty good. It feels a little soap opera-y, but I do really like some of the plot lines they have in there, and all that. It's not bad for Canadian TV. That's all I'm gonna say. Canadian TV show about LA. Who would have thought? Gonna min raise this. I know it's a little bit speculative, but I feel like with no small blind, people will be less inclined to attack. This big blind's been pretty tight all in all, and with 4 players paying, I don't believe we're gonna see too much contention out of Big E or Depp over there. Chip lead remains safely with us. Okay, so my plans at this point are going to be keeping an eye on everyone, of course. This is going to be a decision. So I have no idea how much this guy is shoving. Blinds are going up in a minute to 400, 800. I have no idea. If this guy was a young online kid, I would call always. If he was an older guy, I would just fold and be okay with it. I think I'm going to call. It doesn't hurt us too much if we're behind. Okay, made the right decision according to the math. Of course, based on what his exact hand is. All right. Full house. That's right. In the money, bitches. $60. We've made 40 sweet rounded up profit dollars today. So far, $225 for the belt. Come on, people. Let's just win it. Let's just win a 22-person tournament on Run It Up. Why not? Why not win a tournament? That's the real attitude to take. Gonna defend here. I know I have been saying I'm not going to defend very much, but I think this is actually a fine spot to do it against the 2 guys who are the deepest at the table. And I didn't really want to begin the whole re-raise fighting game just yet. Obviously not the sweetest of flops for us, but I think it gets checked through here pretty often as it is pretty connected. If he has a hand like an ace 3, maybe he has like a king 5 sort of a hand, I think it's at least possible that our opponent checks back here. And if he did so, I would have been inclined to potentially consider attacking, but didn't. All right, over to the button we go. I make myself laugh. What can you say? That's what I do all the time. I just say words and then laugh I don't even care. No one else laughs, fine, sure. You laugh along, great. Points. I don't really care. Either way. Just like when people post comments and they're like, boy, J Carver, I didn't enjoy this video. Okay, don't watch. It bothers me 0. Watch, don't watch. It is what it is. If you enjoy the videos and want to hang out and watch, great. I love it. I love you. It's wonderful. This is a great thing we've got going on here. If you don't watch or don't want to watch, don't enjoy it. Ain't no thing. Doesn't bother me. This does bother me because looks like we're not going to win this pot. That was a bad transition, J Carver. All right, relax. I knew it wasn't the greatest. Looks like we're going to need some blue cards. Otherwise, 3-handed poker game. That's right. Also, page 'em, bitch. $90. Locked it up. Sweet $70 in profit. Starting off our turbo week right. That's right. What a better way to start turbo week than with a turbo. It's destiny, bitches. That's right. Not chip lead currently. Actually, yes, chip lead. Nope, math is hard. Not quite chip lead, but feeling good about it. Got a good block of the chips at least. If cash plays folds, what are we going to do here? I think I'm going to actually just limp. I feel like this guy hasn't done anything too aggressive in the big blind yet to make me feel like I should just shove. And if he shoves, I will put a lot of thought into it, but probably fold, given that we haven't seen anything. Oh, is that all? That looks like 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King? 5 in the row. I bet the minimum. Remember how last time we didn't bet the minimum to most likely garner a fold? Well, now we've bet the minimum to most likely not garner a fold. And yet still build the pot. I mean, if he has nothing, he has nothing. There's nothing he can do if he has nothing. But hopefully he has something, and we don't win nothing. Looks like we're winning nothing. Sad beans. And he timed out. Maybe he had it. Don't be upset for your timeout, kid. Gonna min raise. Obviously, I'd been raised here with King 9. Certainly against the player who's sitting out. But obviously, I'm raising because I have King 9. It sucks, obviously, disconnected this spot, but I would never expect an opponent of mine to wait for me in this situation, so it just sucks. It's one of the downsides of online poker, of course. Going to start here with a bet. I think our opponent will fold better than King High every once in a while. No, do I think it's going to happen often? No, but I think it will happen every once in a while. And if not on the flop, then maybe by the river we give him the business and just bet. That could be cool. Great spot for us here. Walk it out. Sounds good to me. I feel like we've run pretty good lifetime with people that are just like, that just disconnect deep in this tournaments like this. So 1200. I think we can defend here almost as though we're in the big blind because we're calling 1200 to win 3000. So I feel like we can defend this pretty comfortably. Pretty good flop here for us with the old jack and the Dewey. If he bets a lot, I'll be inclined to shove, but at this point, I feel like I will bet 2100. I think he'll stick around if he has like ace high with gut shots, ace queen, ace 9, ace 8, pocket 8s, pocket 6s might just fold. It doesn't really matter. I think he'll definitely call with worse. I like betting there generally because we want to keep the pressure on, keep the aggression on, keep making our opponent feel like we're always winning the pots. We're the ones that are putting him in the cage. Like, you know, we want to be the aggressors in a turbo situation. Particularly, if we had like a super deep slow structure, then it wouldn't make a difference. We could take our time and play a more passive style. But when the blinds are going up like this, we really want to be the aggressor and the one constantly forcing our opponent to fold. If we can help it, and in this situation, I think we can help it. So. That being said, I don't want to go too crazy with the aggression here. I don't want to discourage him from limping. I mean, I would discourage him from limping if I felt like his reaction would be to start folding, but I'm not necessarily sure that's what his inclination will be, and I prefer him limping to raising blind versus blind. So, interesting situation we have here. I don't know if we have the best hand. Usually I feel like I'd know, or at least have a clue. I would guess that we do, but I'm not really sure. I'm going to check back at this point. Let's see a river card dealer. That would be one that definitely guarantees we won't fold. If he checks, we're going to bet like 2,800. If he bets, we're going to call. I don't think there's really any other option here. I don't think raising makes sense. He too often has a better 9, a flush, a straight, something. I think I'd rather just call and see what he's got over there. Okay, glad we didn't bet turn, and I think we lost pretty near the minimum. We bet flop, we had the best hand, and so on. I get button twice. I guess, sort of. Okay, defending here in the big blind again with king 7. Another good flop for us. Having the blinds haven't gone up, I'm pretty sure I'm going to just check raise all in. If our opponent bets like 3K here, if our opponent bets smaller, I guess we could call. There's 7K in the pot though. Could bet like make it 5K and then like call it off. That also could be fine. Make it look like we're just like stealing, 4,800 and then call off a shove. Can't be too bad. I mean, like, he must think that we're going to be really aggressive, and he probably thinks we've been really aggressive, and we've been defending a lot, and this seems like the kind of thing that we could do, and even if he folds to this and has nothing, he'll at least potentially c-bet us a little bit less, which is good. So I think this is just generally one of those plays that I don't always make, but I think is a good tool to take out here and threaten him with. Might help us out in future situations and all of that. Okay. 2, 3, and 4. And our small blind is now sat back in. I wasn't going to continuation bet, but I actually think I'm going to now because our big blind might fold a little bit tighter because the small blind is sitting back in. So that was really the inclination of why I changed my mind. I was actually planning on checking back and kind of representing a better hand than I actually had, although not much of a better hand, obviously. But I was thinking about checking back and kind of pretending I was on like that ace high. I got an ace check, check back flop, and then turn is a 7, and he bets, and I call, and the river is a 5, and then I have all the money. You know, something like that. In this spot, against a raise, blind versus blind, he's now limped. He's folded. I got to just shove here. 22 big blinds against a guy who's on the button is pretty short. He can't call us too widely here. And even if he does call us, we have pocket fives. He has 23 big blinds. So it would be not really the most absurd thing to just shove here, even with no other factors whatsoever. So I'm all in. The more he thinks about it, it's actually, depending on if he's like truly thinking about it or if he's just mad. If he's just over there, then it doesn't make a difference, obviously. But the more he thought about it, I was a little bit concerned because if he has a hand like it's close, like sixes, or even a hand like, you know, king, queen, I'd rather him fold than call. Okay. Gonna need some help here. Spades, threes, fours, any of these would be great. Nope. Gonna need to just spike the old Dewey. Nope. Okay, got ourselves a three-way poker game again. All that disconnecting for nothing. Here are all your chips back. I was just keeping them warm for you. You know? I was just keeping them warm. Don't worry. They're in good hands. I'm gonna min raise here, obviously. Could also try limping and stuff like that, but haven't really seen a reason not to be the aggressor. No one's really done anything to make us not be the aggressor pre-flop. Okay. I love the spot that we're in. I really feel like we're in good control. Obviously, anything could happen. It's a turbo, but I like our chances. Wow, professional poker player likes his chances in a $20 three-handed turbo against two guys who are probably amateurs. Wow. Hey, that's enough out of you over there. Okay. Let's bet. I think I'm going to bet a little bit on the larger side because, once again, I'd like to incline him towards folding. If I could incline him one way or the other, so to speak. I believe that we're looking for him to not make excuses to call. We're looking for him to make excuses to fold. So I'm going to keep this limping thing up. If he shoves here, it would be kind of weird because we have a hand that's actually pretty good. But, okay, I bet the minimum. I don't think he is folding. Let's check and then call. I don't think he's folding here, and very often he has a pair or some sort of a heart thing. Okay, will he fold if we bet? Will he fold better if we bet? I think he might. He might fold a 5 or a 6, jack 6, queen 5, 5-3, stuff like that. I think he'll fold those every once in a while. Could have had the best hand, though, as well. Haven't seen a reason yet to fold my button. So, I guess this could have been an excuse to fold my button and thus make people feel like I'm not stealing every button. I guess we could have taken this hand off and went and got some, like, you know, Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch or other drinks from our refrigerator from the 90s. But it looks like we decided not to. Oh, we get a break. How delightful. Okay, I'll be back in 0 YouTube minutes. Back in there, pocket pair, 2 4s. That's right, give me all the money. So we basically have more chips than both of our opponents combined, which is kind of sweet. So there's that, and we are recording the video, which is also sweet. All right, so blinds are pretty high. These guys are going to be probably at push or fold status. Ooh, we get to just be heads up. That's kind of sweet. Okay, the rematch against Cash Plays. I'm excited. Let's see if we can do it, boys. It's a fair fight, even matched. GG. All right, so we've locked up. I don't even want to know what we've locked up. Less than $225. But the crown, $205 profit. What a way to start Turbo Week. Please, let's win the Turbo Crown. Start off Turbo Week. That would just be something. So we are kind of deep here. What's the next blind level? 750, 1500. Well, I'm glad I checked. Although I guess it's the same as 816. But, okay, so we've got ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. Blinds will be going up in 3 minutes. Not a ton of room, but we have a little bit of room at this level to do things that are a little bit more conservative. Looks like our opponent feels the same way and is just not playing any hands. That would be a less effective strategy, in my opinion, but to each his own. I believe my plan will be to min-raise every button until our opponent decides to do things that make me want to do otherwise. I guess this could be the start of that, but I'm not going to fold here. Why am I not going to fold? Well, I can't fold for this kind of price, boys. This is the deal of people dream about. 2,600 to win 7,600. Let's play, make a pair, and go all in. Well, I think we've lost the first part of that game, but we will see. Hope is not completely lost. We do have queen high, which is not nothing, but I believe we'll just fold now. Even if we fold on flops like this, with the price we're getting pre-flop, there's just no way we can lose money, in my opinion. I'm sure you can find plenty of people who do not agree with me, but I'm not amongst them. So, okay. Ace and Jack currently in second place. If our opponent raises, I think this is a really good spot to re-raise. It gives our opponent an opportunity to just attack us and just be like, screw this guy, I'm all in, which would be sweet because we have ace-jack. And I think this might encourage our opponent to limp maybe or fold buttons, both of which would be fine. Continues the illusion of us just being tough to play against, putting them in difficult situations. These are all things I enjoy doing to my opponents. If our opponent re-raises this time to 5,000, I'll probably still call because it's still a great deal. I can't say no. This time he just calls, though. This makes me feel okay about our hand. Pretty good flop for us as pre-flop aggressor. What are we going to bet? I think 24, 26, either of those is fine. I think 26 is a very reasonable number, all in all. If our opponent calls, we have some decisions to make. What's a sad turn card for us? It's sad because if our opponent has an ace, which is not likely, he's never folding. And if our opponent has a jack, he's also not likely to fold, which also kind of sucks. So we could bet twice, and maybe he'll fold sixes and like queen 10, stuff like that. But I just gave up. I don't think we have to necessarily fight this in this spot, which is not a particularly high yield spot anyway. I guess we could bet like 1,800 and try to get him to fold if he has like 2 random spades that are unpaired and pretty low. But, that's the only hope I'm trying to accomplish there. I realize that I'm not anticipating that he folds any pair whatsoever, but I think that betting 1,800 just so he folds hands like 10-8 of spades, which might play identically to that, I think that's important. There's so much money in the pot that I think it's worth firing a small bet that he just really can't call if he has no pair. And I think that's just better than checking in that spot. Not substantially, though, but I think that's fine. I haven't done something like that in a while, though, so I haven't really put a lot of thought into it. So maybe it's not okay, but I think it made sense. It made sense in my brain when I did it. So there's that, at least. I bet out here on this turn, obviously, gut shot, spade draw, queen high, etc. I think 1,800 is fine in that spot. Maybe I could have bet 1,600. I mean, he's never going to, like, curiosity call us with, like, 10-8, so all I'm really trying to get him to fold is literally no pair is better than us, but I could have bet like 1,600 maybe. I guess they're pretty similar. So now that our opponent has a chip lead, I suppose there is some consideration to be made for limping and doing other things, but blinds have just gone up, so I'm probably going to just be min-raising or folding, but we can mix some limps in there as well with like speculative sorts of hands and see how he reacts to that. Okay. I think we're going to make a pair go all in. Sounds right to me. Okay. Plan B. Make no pair. Don't go all in. Alternatively, I guess that's what we'll be doing here. Make no pair and don't go all in. Okay. Gonna need I think we're still fine. I mean, obviously we have not had it go as we have wanted since the break is over, but I believe we are still doing fine. I will fold this hand. I think it's fine to fold one in this spot, just so our opponent doesn't necessarily feel like we're consistently opening every single button. It's a thing that I don't mind as chip leader, but in this spot, I think that folding is okay. We got one in return. Fair. Everyone just takes the orbit off. No big deal. So I think I'm going to min raise and then not fold if he shoves. I think this hand is certainly good enough to call if he shoves. Will I love it? No, but I think it would be fine. 9, 9, and 8. Okay. I think the plan will be to bet and then not fold if he shoves. As sad as that would be. He has too many hands that are just like connected draws and things. I could have also checked back and went from there. At this point, I think I'm going to check back. I'm not afraid of spades, but I am a little bit of afraid of an 8, and everything else we kind of beat unless he has like ace 10 somehow. So we could have the best hand. I'm not giving up that that's not possible. It's actually like probably 30 or 40% we have the best hand right now. And now, of course, it hops up to like 80, 90%. So that's a pretty good river card for us. If he bombed it on the river, I would be a little concerned for sure. But okay, so we have to think about what will he call here with. First of all, I'm a little concerned that he has us beat somehow, but I'm only a little bit concerned. I think we have to bet an amount that he can call with an 8 and just say, this guy is bluffing and I can call. But there's really not a lot of hands he can call with, to be honest. But I was afraid of betting too small because I was afraid that he would think we were just value betting an ace and fold if he had an 8. So we have to bet big enough that he can perceive us as bluffing, but not too big as to make him fold an 8, which is a very hard needle to thread. Is that right? I don't know if that expression is right, but it's a very small target that we're trying to hit there. So if he had shoved, I would have been very concerned and probably would have folded, to be honest. So he actually had an opportunity to bluff there that he did not take, but that's a hard bluff to make into an ace river, and it might not have worked against less sophisticated players. Only people that can really be like, oh, he must have a 9 or a flush here, and that's certainly not every player. Betting here for straight up value. All right. We have chipped our way back to almost even. This is a good spot to start limping, I think. I would be very surprised if his response to this would be to shove, which is really the only way he gets me to fold. He could make it 8,000, I guess. That would work as well. But I think mixing in limps in spots like this is okay. And it might encourage him to do the same, which at this point I would be fine with. And now I will bet the minimum. If he doesn't have some connectivity, I would imagine he will just fold. Is it possible he has 9? It's certainly possible, but I think 8 and 6s are both probably live. Aces are probably good for us as well. Once in a while, he might have a king could turn, and he might also check fold. So, like, this is a great spot for us. I think we win this pot very, very, very often at this particular juncture. 4,200. If he has 9, he has made a good check on the turn. Okay. Obviously, another really tough spot for him to call. I mean, it's a very hard spot for him to have anything, really. So I think I'm going to just bet like 7,200 and hope he folds something that's like king high or worse, like diamonds, something like that. I'm just like hoping he folds. If he has a 4, maybe he played a 4 this way. All right, well, this didn't work out well for us. He must have just had an ace and played this weirdly and then showed up with a full house. I mean, this whole thing kind of just... It doesn't make a lot of sense that he would play a 9 this way, and 9 would just call the river. So he must have had an ace and turned the ace, which we decided to bluff. We were representing the hand he had, I suppose. He could have, I guess, bluffed us, but that would have been weird. So could we have just folded on the flop to his aggression? Yes, we could have, but I don't know. That was a weird spot because he check min raised with an ace, apparently. So he limped pre with an ace, and then... That's kind of a weird hand. Like, I feel like we kind of got a little bit unlucky in that situation for him to somehow have an ace in that spot. For him to have won as much as he won in that spot, he had to like check min raise with the hand that had an ace in it, and then have us float, and then have the river. Because the river was like a low card. I might not have bluffed. I mean, obviously he played the hand well, whatever he had, and I don't hate how we played it. I just think we kind of got I think we got a little bit unlucky given the like exact sequence of events that had to occur for us to like bluff in that spot. The board had to run out a certain way. All right, good spot for us. Very good spot for us now. Going to dodge some jacks and queens. All right, back in the chip lead with us. We bluffed off half our stack. We win back half our stack. Seems only fair. You know, we got points for at least trying. You know, not everybody can just call a check raise with a 8-6 on a 9-9-4 board and then bet beyond that. You know, you got to get at least the medal of trying. This guy's in a pretty good spot at this point. Our skill edge is not necessarily entirely negated, but certainly when we're playing 15 big blind poker, I don't hate our opponent's chances. I'm going to keep trying this limp thing. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. We will find out, I suppose. Okay, happy to see that. Happy enough, I suppose. Seems like a good spot to fire the minimum. 2,000. Didn't we just watch this movie? I feel like we just saw this not that long ago. Are we going to do this again? I mean, I guess we'll fold this one. We never learn our lessons, I guess. Or maybe we did learn our lesson and now we folded. I don't know. That's not a fun spot for me. It's, you know, I don't know what to say. I never believe them. And you shouldn't. You have such a great price. How do you ever believe them? And what does that even mean, believe them in that spot? Believe them means he has a 10? I guess. I suppose. The 8-6 spot is better than that one, though, at least. At least the 8-6 spot, we do have some clean outs to second pair. There we have some really optimistic ones at best. Should we try to bluff this? 4,500? I think it's probably worth a shot. He checks back with enough things that are just giving up here. This board is pretty connected all in all. Okay. Shall we try to bluff this one as well, boys? Hasn't worked out pretty well for us. Hasn't worked out well for us so far. All right. Let's be bold, kids. I don't know. I don't love this. I don't love it, but come on. It's Turbo Week. We got to be bold on Turbo Week. I'm all in. We'll see. I don't love this, but nice job. We stole it. 5-8 offsuit. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's right, kids. Boldness, you know? Sometimes you got to be bold. Can't just check fold with the 5-8 offsuit. You got to just go after it, you know? All right, so we're in the driver's seat now. We've got ourselves a chip lead. Going to be min-raising most of our buttons. Ace deuce. If he does something besides shove, I'll probably just shove myself. I mean, he has been shoving a good percentage of his hands, but I think he'll still min-raise fold often enough that we can shove this and be okay with it. Do I love it? No, but I think it's good enough that we can shove an ace here. Also, very often he'll have king high, king queen, something like that. Okay, fair enough. Gonna need some holding here. Okay, one time, dealer. Fake one time, I'll point out. I made sure it was fake. All right. We did it. That's right. GG to you, sir. All right. A little bit of boldness goes a long way. Congratulations. Thank you, Ultimate Poker. Thank you. You know, hey, you want to go out maybe after this? We can celebrate? No? Ultimate Poker doesn't care. It doesn't want to go celebrate. All right. Let's do some math, kids. Well, let's pull the lobby over for one. All right. Look at that work we did there. That's right. What's Jay Carver rank? What's that? Oh, yeah, #1. That's right, Jay Carver #1. Sure, Ultimate Poker saying it, not me. All right, let's do some math, kids. So we were in for $20, and then we won $225. So we won $205, and we add that to that, and that's what we start out our Turbo Week with. All right, pretty sweet. So we did it, our first tournament win of 2014, and we earned it. 5-8 offsuit boldness. That's right. Who needs to check and fold when you can just bluff and win? Am I right, people? All right. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. A little something different for you guys on Monday. Did some cool things here, all in all. Lots of cool stuff coming this week. Don't forget, facebook.com/jcarpoker, twitter.com/Jason Somerville. And if you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe. I do videos 5 days a week, all sorts of fun, cool stuff. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do. And if you have, I really appreciate it. You guys are what powers my life. That's right. Thanks much for watching, guys. I will see you back for more tomorrow. Peace.